So I want to transition to the Switch 2. And the results in the first week in terms of units sold, wow. In less than a week, exactly the first 4 days, the Nintendo Switch 2 has sold 3.5 million units already. And this is astounding when you consider like already the fastest selling video game console compared to the original Switch, compared to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And obviously the Xbox consoles, like now the fastest selling console of all time within the first 4 days, 3.5 million sold. That's pretty impressive. And I mean, look, regarding the games lineup, not much, few third-party games. Like, of course, now there's the Cyberpunk 2027 Ultimate Edition, a new exclusive Mario Kart World that everyone is really loving right now. That's pretty nice to see. And what's more impressive is how excellent and superb how with the backwards compatibility. That's probably my favorite feature from the Switch 2. Backwards compatibility has really worked and seriously looked amazing, especially for some Nintendo exclusives that got free updates just to sharpen the visuals and improve their performance. They look flawless on the Switch 2. It's almost as if they were meant for the Switch 2. For games that really lacked badly on the Switch 2, work perfectly. And there's like what's called a Switch 2 edition with like paid upgrades, whether it's like high resolution, higher performance, better shadowing, lighting, textures, and so forth. A few games were announced. I think I talked about this, but the main ones available, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Nice to see. Even other games like Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, and Bravely Default, just for that. I'm not going to go over what the Switch 2 has. Everyone knows it. You can search it online. But, I mean, it's pretty cool that it's doing well, especially in the era of PC handhelds with the, the Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally, which I will talk more of, the Logitech IG Cloud, the analogs, and so much more. Maybe something from Razer. Razer has always been an expert of like third-party game pads and PC gaming accessories, but I mean, we are really living in a golden era of really like handheld gaming style, sort of making a comeback with PC specs involved. And even though they're going to be, some of them could be expensive, that's always subjective. Still, it's pretty nice that they're doing well, and it's, being successful in the market, especially in this age of mobile devices, of tablets and smartphones. But it just shows that people want to play like, AAA, high budget level gaming devices. Like they want like actual handheld games in the palm of their hands that have like high end AAA level results, And Steam Deck is an example, so that's pretty cool to see. Okay, I did have one more. Yes, I do want to make sure I didn't forget a major announcement Microsoft made at the Xbox Showcase. They have announced they are in collaboration with Asus on a new handheld device. Now, I do want to address something as well. On a previous episode, I did say that Microsoft are halting production of a handheld device of their own. Now, in-house handheld device, it's true, not doing work on that. Instead, they are collaborating with Asus on two gaming handheld PC-like devices. One is called the ROG Xbox Ally, and another one called the ROG Xbox Ally X. Just one minor complaint. Am I the only one who finds it weird it's not called the Ally S? Just a minor comment. Anyway, so yeah, both of them have Windows 11, 7-inch full HD displays, USB ports, they have Type-C ports, audio jacks. Slightly weighed differently, the regular Xbox Ally has a processor of AMD Ryzen Z2A processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, while the Ally X has a processor of AMD Ryzen A Z2 Extreme processor, which is going to be more powerful, 24 gigabytes of RAM. Yes, let me repeat that. 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. And of course, like few extra USB ports and Thunderbolt ports and so forth. And yes, both of them have the same sort of Wi-Fi network connection, Wi-Fi 6E. Now, the regular Xbox Ally weighs 670 grams with a 60-watt battery, and the Ally X has 715 grams with 80-watt battery. Although another difference with the Ally X, it does feature impulse triggers like with haptic feedbacks, sort of a cue taken from the PlayStation DualSense gamepads with the L2, R2 buttons, trigger buttons with haptic feedbacks that vibrate. So pretty nice to see. What's even more interesting is that both devices will integrate PC gaming apps, which means it'll for sure include Steam, Epic Games, I think, EA Play, Ubisoft Connect, yes, GOG included as well, Battle.net. So the fact that these Xbox handheld PC devices are including the desktop PC gaming apps, Steam is the most popular, and it's good that there are other ones included. That says a lot. Even the more interesting detail, as we've seen in a few years, Sony have been slowly but surely now publishing their PC games on Steam and Epic, which means that with Steam and Epic on the Xbox ROG devices, Asus ROG devices, it means that now we could actually play PlayStation handheld games on Xbox devices, even if it's handheld. So it's sort of like bridging the gap of like what is exclusive and not exclusive anymore, or how long it could be exclusive. And what was really nice detail to see on both of those Xbox handheld devices, there is like a dedicated Xbox button, user interface. You could play the games natively, stream remotely, however you like, download them. So yeah, I mean, if you paid for your Xbox games digitally, you can play them natively and not just try to rely on an internet connection, not like a remote device like the PlayStation Portal, which is a remote device only for the PS5. So I'm really glad I mentioned that. I really thought out of all the announcements from Microsoft, I really do think the ROG Xbox Ally devices were the biggest news. There's a release window like somewhere in the winter holidays of 2025, and it did sort of demonstrate Hollow Knight Silk Song, which hopefully comes around that same time as well. There's no release date, but winter holidays, that'll be nice to see.